3,200 people nationwide are serving life terms without parole for nonviolent offenses. Of those prisoners, 80% are behind bars for drug-related crimes. 65% are African American, 18% are white, and 16% are Latino.
The United States has more people in prison than anywhere else in the world. Quentin Smith will spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole.
The Justice Department demanded an overhaul after an investigation found conditions unconstitutional.
Many employers will automatically count you out if you check a box on the application that says you do, in fact, have a criminal record.
In the day's other news, at least 7 inmates died at a prison in South Carolina.
More than half of the American population has had a family member incarcerated at some point in their lives.
From declining mental health to all new highs in cases of recidivism, the prisons of the United States are far from perfect. Although reforming prison rehabilitation would cost about $90 billion initially, curbing recidivism rates through rehabilitation would be more cost-effective in the long term, eventually resulting in a net financial gain. While many Americans oppose better rehabilitation programs for inmates because they believe these programs will cost the government an excessive amount of money and raise taxes, the real financial effect comes from mass incarceration. According to the National Bureau of Justice Statistics, mass incarceration costs the U.S. $80 billion annually, $31,000 per inmate. Rehabilitation programs such as education, job help, and psychiatric services make up less than 10% of this cost. The use of rehabilitation programs have proven to reduce recidivism rates and, in turn, reduce the cost of the prison system over time. From 2007 to 2011, Minnesota's work release program saved the state $1.25 million due to the decrease in prison population. Prison education systems have shown to reduce recidivism rates. In New York, prisoners with a college degree were half as likely to reoffend compared to inmates without a degree. Providing high school and college degrees in prisons across the country is a major step in curbing recidivism.
The rate of incarceration now is about 5 times higher than it was historically. Historically, it was 100 per 100,000. Now it's about 500 per 100,000. If we look at prison, if we add jail to that, it's about 700 per 100,000.
It's like getting labeled too. You're 18, getting told that you're bad person. So you think that, you're told you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. What happens? You become a little bad. You need human contact, and when you're treated like an animal, you start thinking like one.
We know a couple things. We know that a lot of people who end up in prison already have mental health issues, and that very often those are exacerbated in prisons. A lot of prisons don't offer the programs that are going to give them the skills necessary, or going to give them sort of the emotional support they need, the ability to sort of come to terms with what they've done. And frankly, when people leave prison, particularly if they've been in for a while, there is not a great support network out there.
There are different types of rehabilitation that would curb recidivism rates. Inmates enrolled in educational programs are 43% less likely to commit a crime and return to prison within 3 years. Employment programs increase the likelihood of inmates getting jobs after release, and counseling and community programs help improve mental health and create support systems. It is important for the Federal Bureau of Prisons to provide funding for nationwide rehabilitation programs, job opportunities, and mental health support for convicts inside of federal prisons. Otherwise, we'll be caught in the dehumanizing cycle of rehabilitation, reintegration, and recidivism.